Hey. This is going to be a really cool, nostalgic moment. For those of you catching this on replay, those of you who are watching live, I want to say a word of welcome. My name is Kirk Nugent. Serve as your host for this wild ride called The Coaching Corner. And I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that several from my community over on School will join us, because that is definitely will join us. I should say, I hope that several of you who are watching live with us on YouTube will join us over in Zoom, which is in the School community, because that is where the majority of the magic is going to happen. And you'll hear a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But I want to share this as an opening note for some of you. There's a quote that I was able to glean from my coach. Let's go here. Boom. Perfect. I was able to glean this from my coach, and when you get it from your coach, it's always something good. In fact, I'm going to make this into a reel at some point, but I want to share this with you. This is the quote. It says, "Permission to be authentic." Right? Permission to be authentic, which is huge. This is what I'm always talking about. You want to be your authentic self. You want to bring your real self to your content. But permission to be authentic is not an excuse to be average. It is not a release to be mediocre. It is not permission to just do any kind of thing. Permission to be authentic is not permission to be average. That's the quote. Permission to be authentic means you can do it the best way that you can do it and still show up as yourself. It means that you get to, not have to, not required to, but you get to show people something different, unique, new, but also you get to do it at a high level with high quality. Permission to be authentic is what many people need. And I'm telling you, as a coach, as I meet with people for varying different engagements, some of them are regular coaching clients. Some of them are meeting with me for a clarity call. Some of them are, we're setting up their studio. Some of them we're trying to fine tune their content, figuring out what their why is. We're looking at their target audience and their value proposition. We're figuring out what their branding is going to be and what that feeling is when their brand is mentioned. We want to define that and be intentional and work our way backwards. When I'm doing that work, I can't tell you how many times I have to share with people, it's okay to just be you. Don't have to do what you see others do. All right. Green screens were such a huge thing during the pandemic, and there still are to an extent right now. I'm not a huge fan of green screens. I believe that the best background is the background you got, what allows people to see live into your space. And so you can do things outside of what you have seen. You can bring your authentic self to your content, because that's what's a critical component to success. But what I don't want to have happen is for you to think that me being my authentic self means I could just rest. I don't have to strive for greater. I don't have to strive to do more. This is why I like the phrase "done for now" as opposed to it being done forever, right? What we're talking about is getting to today's iteration of what your best looks like. Because today's iteration of what your best looks like might be different than tomorrow's iteration. Well, let me say not might be, it should be different than tomorrow, because tomorrow you have today's knowledge and information, which should play into you pushing the level that you are requiring of yourself just a little bit higher. When we talk about permission to be authentic, we're talking about, man, sharing every aspect, even the pieces that aren't exactly desired, right? Even the pieces that don't necessarily paint you in a great light. You want to share those because somebody can resonate with it. When you share from a place that's sometimes undone, imperfect, that lets people know that you're real, that you bleed, and when you bleed, it's red, it's not blue or green. You're not Superman. There's no kryptonite. You put on your pants one leg at a time, just like they do. When people can resonate, they recognize this is somebody who's real, tangible. In a world that is filled with a lot of AI-based content, AI doesn't know how to be authentic. AI doesn't know how to bring its own stories to bear. Yeah, now when I shared this was a while ago now. It was right here on the Coaching Corner. I shared that I used to have this Logitech C920. It's actually right there right now. It's another shot. I don't know if I hit the button, will it actually take that shot? I have no idea. Let's see. Oh yeah, there it is. So that's the Logitech C920. Okay, so that's the camera that I used to use, and I had it on a tabletop tripod. The tripod was about this big, so it would sit on the table. And it would allow almost a little bit higher than this, and would allow for the C920 to sit about right there. And I had it, sitting there, and I was looking at it, of course, right? I mean, that's what I used to record my earlier videos on YouTube, and what I used to use to go live with. So I had my Logitech C920 here. And I want to be clear, it wasn't attached to anything. It was just sitting on the desk. And there was a particular show where I hit it accidentally, and it fell over the desk and down to the floor. And there is video somewhere on these YouTube streets of me reaching down to the Logitech 20, grabbing it and setting it back up on the desk and saying, "Oh, didn't mean for that to happen." And I just kind of went on with the show. I cannot tell you how many people booked a call after that experience to have me help them with their setup, not because I was perfect, but because I looked like them. Because they said, man, if that guy can have the camera fall over in the middle of a live stream, pick it back up, and continue delivering value as if nothing happened, I need that guy as my coach. Because authenticity wins. That's just a fun fact. That's the name of the latest podcast episode for How It All Works, is that authenticity wins. Authenticity is your cheat code. Your authenticity is going to be different than my authenticity, and that's why it wins. It's your secret power and secret sauce, because no one else can use it. Because your authenticity comes from your story, and your story is like your fingerprint. No two stories are alike. I have, or had, I should say, a twin. My twin passed away when we were just about to turn 2 years old. So we're about 18 months old when my twin passed away. I hear these stories because, of course, I was 2 at the time. So what do I know about these stories, right? And whenever I share that, of course, people resonate. I got a chance to speak in New Zealand a year or so ago, and I shared this story about my twin passing away, and people lined up to speak to me after the session was done, and they were telling me in the line, I had a twin too. My twin passed away. And there's a bond that we created because their story mimics, shares it. It has an overlap with some of my story, but our stories are not the same. And only reason why I bring up my twin is because even though we were twins, our fingerprints were different. Even though we shared the same womb, came into life at the same time, our stories are different. And your story is your cheat code. Your story, your authenticity, what you bring to the table, it shouldn't look like what others. So yes, you have permission to be authentic. But also, yes, your authenticity should hold you to a higher standard, not a lower one. So permission to be authentic is not permission to be average. And so my question to you, as we get ready to jump into our coaching quarter today, is where have you allowed average to creep in? Now, I asked that question that way specifically, and I see there are 8 of you on the live with us today. Thank you for hanging out. And a couple others are with me in Zoom. What's going on, HK? I see you in Zoom. I see you waving as well. So, and for those of you who are in school, you're already members of our school community, I challenge you to jump into the Zoom room over on school, because that's one of the major announcements that's coming. But I frame the question this way: where have you allowed average to creep in? I frame the question this way because average is a tricky thing. And this is why the quote is so heavy. Permission to be authentic is not permission to be average. Everybody that hears that will invariably say to themselves, well, no, I'm not purposefully being average. I'm being authentic. Yeah. None of us will absolutely raise our hand. Like, if I said to all everybody that's watching right now, who here wants to be average? And I say, raise your hand. No hands are going up. No hands are going up because nobody intends to be average. That's not the intention. That's not the plan. And that's why I framed the question this way. Where have you allowed? You see, allowed and planned are two totally different things. Where have you allowed average to creep in? Where have you allowed average to take hold? After you've done a thing for a time or 2 or 20 or 40, maybe you've done it every day for a year or 2 or more, you begin to rest on the rhythm. You've done it so often, it becomes second nature to you, so much so that we allow average to creep in. So much so that we allow average to creep in. And average is, here's what average looks like. I'm using right now a Sony a6400 camera with a 16 millimeter lens. And it's the same camera I've been using since I replaced the Logitech C920 that I told you about a little bit ago. So average creeps in when I keep saying, this camera, this combo, it just works. I don't need anything else. I'm not going to try anything else. I'm not going to see what other video cameras or combinations gets me. I'm not even going to test because I'm happy with what I'm getting. There was a moment in time when this combination was the best that you could possibly get. But that's not true anymore. And so the bar for excellence creeps up while your workflow and your equipment and your processes and systems that have not been audited recently, they lag behind. This is where average creeps in. What have you not audited? What have you not checked in your processes as a creator, in your processes as a human being in life? What have you not checked to ensure that it is still yielding optimal results? You want a practical example of this? Go and talk to Blockbuster. I see my guy laughing in the Zoom room. Blockbuster thought they were on the cutting edge. Blockbuster thought they had an opportunity to buy Netflix when Netflix was sending DVDs to people through the mail. And they were like, this is a joke. This company will never outpace us. Netflix. Okay? Netflix is a household name right now, a household subscription. Where's Blockbuster? Blockbuster didn't intend to go the way of the dodo. They let average seep in. They rested on yesterday's standard for excellence so long that when they realized that yesterday's standard for excellence was so far from the mark, it was too late to course correct. You have permission to be authentic, yes, but you do not have permission to be average. And while we may not actively seek out the title of average, we allow it to creep in so many different ways. When my kids were smaller, I could put them on my back and ride them around, and that was daddy time. And if I'm not careful, I can allow that daddy time to continue to be like that, even though they're 15 and 14 now. Riding them around on my back anymore is not daddy time. I've got to evolve. My standard for excellence must continue to rise because I have more information. Yeah, daddy time now looks like maybe me going out with my son on a Tuesday night, my wife going out with our daughter, and then us flipping that the other week and really hearing from them, like really talking to them. What are their goals, aspirations? What are their cares? What are the things that they think about? And what's living rent free in their brain? Like what's top of their mind? Which friends are not doing them right? What's the new slang? Is there a new dance I'm not aware of? How am I falling out of touch with what the current culture and generation is doing? All of these are conversations that I have now in daddy time. That's not what daddy time looked like when they were 4 and 5, because I have to evolve. And so does your process. So does your strategy. So does your content journey. Systems and methods that you employ to be able to get across the line today may look wildly different tomorrow, and that is how it should be. This is such a great segue into what we're going to be talking about today in terms of an announcement for, the Coaching Corner, which is back, but not really. Because one of the things I've been able to audit in my process is this method of engagement. I absolutely love being on here with you guys. You know that. Look. Let me just take a moment and grab some comments. Here we go. We got some comments here. What do we got? Who do we have here? Micah Flemings is here. What's going on, Micah? Thank you so much for being here. My guy H, go ahead and put your chat, type something in the chat here on Zoom. I want to bring your comment up as well. See, I want the FOMO to really kick in. I got Tracy is here, one of my moderators on YouTube. She says hi. She says hi to Kirk. I see Dr. Vibe Show is here. Greetings, Kirk. Greetings, family. I hope that everyone is fine and safe. And he asked, how was your birthday? My birthday was great. 46 years young yesterday. Took the day off. Had a great time. So excited about that. Thank you so much, Dr. Vibe. Love to see the back and forth in the comments section as well as you guys chat with one another. Always good to see that kind of engagement. Yeah, these are all the different things that are in the chat. And I absolutely love this. I love that that engagement. I love that we can engage with one another in these ways. But I'm also just trying to figure out which QR code is that. All right, there's one. Let's get that one up there. But I'm also mindful that trying to engage or trying to share critical concepts and topics in this way. You thought I was younger. Trying to engage in topics this way in YouTube is great, but it doesn't allow me the fuller experience that the community over on Skool gives us. It doesn't allow me that experience. And so let's go here too. And Stream Deck used to be just boom, touch it and go. And all right, there we go. Now we're good to go. Let's go back to CCK for just a second. Get the digital card here, and then let's go back to screen. All right, cool. So this is Skool. This is Skool right here. Let me turn my mouse on. This is Skool, and you can see right now it says Coaching Corner is back, kinda, and that's actually available. You can click that and go right in if you join Skool. And you joining Skool is actually a really great price. Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, Dr. Vibe Show. I know you guys have joined already, but I would love for you guys to go over there right now and hit this link to join, because here's what I found. In this space, I can actually provide you a much richer experience, provide you with resources, provide you with reminders, provide you with more direct access outside of what we are able to do here on YouTube. So while I love YouTube, I'm mindful that I can't do everything on YouTube. Now look at this. I'm like a baby learning to crawl, then walk to get on my journey. I value your words and work, sir. H. Williams is here with me in the Zoom room. If you look on the screen, you'll see that little Zoom icon right next to HW, which is his initials. And his comments are right there next to Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, right there next to Dr. Vibe Show. The experience in Zoom is not any different. It's just that in Zoom, I'm able to see Doc Williams, okay? I'm able to see him. I'm able to engage with him at a different level. And if I go back to my screen here, you'll see I'm able to, in the Skool community, I'm able to post different things. Here's a post that I pinned to our discussion board. Build a brand that reflects you. What does it say right here? It says authenticity wins. That is the name of the title of the podcast episode. Florence Donald says here, everyone must watch this. The insights caused me to say, now I'm going back to rewatch and take notes. Oh man, Florence, you did me great on that one. Thank you so much for that comment, Florence. Mary Lou Mandel, good friend of mine, another content coach. This was a wonderful episode, loving the co-host dynamic, and glad to see both of you making content that aligns with what you are actually trying to build. That build term is something that we talked about in that episode. Again, I'm able to provide a much richer experience on Skool than I can on YouTube. Will I stop posting to YouTube? No, but the Coaching Corner will be in Skool. The Coaching Corner will be in this platform. It will not be on YouTube. And so for me, I want to ensure that those of you who enjoyed Coaching Corner are able to come to Coaching Corner twice a month inside Skool. So you just go to the link that is in the description. If you are watching on YouTube, I don't know if I typed that right. It's hard to see. I think that's it. So, but if you go to the link that's in the description, or if you go to the link that kirkarnugent.live/Skool. Yeah. If you go to the link that I just typed in on YouTube, that one that I've just put on screen for you right now, you will be able to join. There's a little questionnaire that you fill out. Once you fill out that questionnaire, I'll be able to respond, and my team will get you joined into the community. Yeah. I'm in school at the moment. How do I log in to watch this broadcast? I'm glad you asked, Dr. Vibe. So Dr. Vibe, there's two ways to do that. Number one, you can go right here to where it says calendar. You click on calendar and you'll see that today is in red, and you'll see 12:30 p.m. coaching corner with Kirk. Coaching corner is back, kinda. You'll see this is all here, and you can even see that it says live. That's the first way. The second way is if you go to community, you'll see right here on your main page that this is live right now. This is when you see that, you just click it and you can go right in. So you have two ways of being able to get in there. I also want to share for those who are making this decision. You're going to watch this back later, and you knock, let me in, please. Okay, hold on. Let me get back to my. Let's get her added back in. All right. So Tracy's coming in. Thank you, Tracy. Let's go back. But the thing that you want to know, of course, is that, yes, we have posts like these. Here's a welcome post. And I encourage anybody and everybody to watch this video when you get into the community, watch this video and then go through and comment yourself, who you are, what type of content you create, because this is kind of a welcome post. So that one is always pinned. Here's another post. I just put this up today. Chris Stone is a creator I respect. I saw a clip on LinkedIn where he quotes me. I asked him to share that clip with me, and he did, which I posted below. Okay? When you quote someone, you're giving credit where it's due, but you're letting your audience know that you're learning and evolving and consuming too. Plus, you borrow from the quoted person's credibility, which bolsters your own. The station identification concept he quotes is from my series on how to establish yourself as an expert with content available here in school. Are you seeing how much richer this experience is, because this is kind of its own space, its own community. And I want to be able to serve at a deeper level. And that's why I've decided to go all in on this community-based platform. I generally never say what the cost is, but the cost for the community is free. So it is a no-brainer. Here's a birthday post from yesterday, 46 years young today, and several people, coming in and saying happy birthday. I appreciate them for that. Florence put up a whole post about content repurposing. Again, community members are also adding value here. So here we go, in my element. Here's just me kind of showcasing some of the things that I got going on. This never gets old. Here's a post from somebody that, kind of gave me my flowers here. Again, this is a much richer experience than I could ever do here on YouTube. I love YouTube. I still utilize it, but check this out. Even for your YouTube videos, like if you were to come here to the How It All Works podcast, you now have all the different episodes. Authenticity Wins, The Ultimate Workflow, You Are What You Consume, Unlock Your Purpose, Your Real Why, Real Life, Real Content. Do you want to get paid? All right, The Story Advantage. These are all the episodes that we've had in the How It All Works podcast so far. And not only do you get the episode, you get action items and next steps. This is a downloadable document that you get because you're in the community. This is not available. This document, and it's the summary, action items, next steps, they're not available anywhere else except for inside the community. So while this video is still a YouTube video and it still, counts as a YouTube video view, you don't get these action items and next steps anywhere other than inside the community. And I hope that you remember what the price is to join the community. So that's another really great item, is that we're able to serve up some of our content as courses. So if you go to the Classrooms tab here, then you can go down and showcase, or better yet, decide, right? Which one do I want to watch? How I create my YouTube videos, start to finish. I have my entire YouTube video process right here for anybody to watch. This video is also available on YouTube, but it's harder to find. And so what I've done is I've put them into a content coaching playlist right here, and you can grab it, watch it, and go back into the community and post a comment. Hey, I just watched the YouTube video thing. I didn't quite understand this or this or this, and you can do that way. So several different ways that you can engage. There's also the ability to do direct messages here. You can message other people in the community. You can direct message me. And while I can't promise I'm going to be, at your beck and call, but I do respond to my direct messages, either myself or my team. And so again, there's just a better, richer, fuller experience here inside school. And I definitely want to make sure you guys get a chance to engage with us where possible, if that's something you desire. So if you're looking to engage at a deeper level, make sure you hit that link, kirkrnugent.live/school. Let's go back to screen real quick. There it is. Make sure you hit that link, kirkrnugent.live/school. Come on in, answer those questions, maybe even book a clarity call, and then we can get in there. All right, he says, when I click the Zoom link, I'm asked for my email address and password. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know why it's asking you that. Do you have a Zoom account? I don't know why it's asking you that. It's weird. That's not how it's supposed to work. And I apologize. I didn't think you would need it. I guess I have a Zoom account, but I didn't think you would need that. Let me see. I'll have to check into that as well, Doc Vibes. So thank you for letting me know that's it. But yeah. These are some of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. The quote says, you have permission to be authentic, but you don't have permission to be average. And one of the things that I keep on doing it. One of the things that's part of my regular diet, my regular schedule, my regular rhythm on a day-to-day basis is assessment. I'm constantly going back and saying, how did that go? How did that go? Is that really what I want? Is that how I want this experience to be? Am I just using what I know because it's familiar, or am I, taking it to another level? And when I began to look at that, I was like, no, I really want to, Tracy says it went straight in for me. How strange. But I really want to help people a little closer than I can inside YouTube. One of the complaints I always got from YouTube was like, hey, people would DM me on Instagram. They wouldn't comment underneath the YouTube video. They would DM me on Instagram because they're looking for a way to get direct access to me. Well, Instagram wasn't necessarily a platform that I was looking to grow on. I'm looking to grow on YouTube. And so I always responded to my comments on YouTube, but those DMs on Instagram would go, days sometimes without me responding because I didn't get those notifications. So those are the reasons why I'm wanting to ensure that we have a place that allows us, in my opinion, today's standard of excellence. I don't want average to creep in and rob not only myself but also you guys from the closer experience that we can have in a environment like school, where you can ask your questions, you can post your wins, you can talk about content or YouTube, you can talk about studio or workflow, right? If I go back to my screen right here, you have all these different discussion tabs. If I show more here, you got StreamYard, right? And then there's some posts related to StreamYard. There's Ecamm Live, you are the content, and then you have studio workflow. Here's a client project that I did, and you have some pictures here. And again, it gives people a window, a closer window into what I do, and again allows them to get value from some of my experiences and then also be able to share their own. It is so great to see conversations happening inside the community that aren't necessarily centered around me. We are all in this together. this content journey that we're on, seeking to utilize and leverage it to reach our goals, whatever those goals might be. We're in this together. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure we touch on today, even as we get ready to close it out, because we're already over our half-hour time, but even as one of the things I wanted to make sure we get a chance to touch on today is that your permission to be authentic is not permission to be average. I cannot stress that enough. I don't want somebody to walk away today and say, yeah, I've never done that. I've never decided to be average. And I get that. I probably would add myself to that category as well. But my challenge to you is to think through whether or not, where in what spaces are you allowing average to creep in? And when I think about that, there's several areas that I'm embarrassed to say I have just kind of rested on my laurels. Yesterday's success, right? I got so used to doing it this way that I didn't check out anything else. Listen, AI comes to mind. While I'm always looking for ways to differentiate myself from, as my friend says, the sea of sameness, right? I'm always looking for ways to differentiate. And this is why I haven't incorporated a lot of AI into my video content, but I'm utilizing AI in my processes. And I will be the first to tell you that I waited too long. I should have incorporated AI sooner, but this is a lesson learned. You can't allow average to creep in, because you don't know when yesterday's definition of excellence becomes today or tomorrow's definition of average. And the truth is, AI is not coming to take anybody's jobs. The person who does the same thing as you but can do it 10 times quicker because they are leveraging AI, they're going to take your job. And that's really the gist of it. Is we have to be on a relentless pursuit of getting incrementally, systematically, methodically better, day to day to day. Every opportunity we get a chance to do a thing, whether it's streaming, whether it's creating content, whether it's engaging with your audience, whatever it might be, every opportunity we get to do that, we should be leveraging it for success. And that's what I got for you today. Let me show one last thing before we go. If you'll notice on the screen right now, Tracy says, I'm loving AI. ChatGPT can analyze and compare my videos way better than Notebook-LM did. Okay, dope. We're going to have to talk about that in our meeting in just a second. That's exactly what I came back to the screen to share on. You always have the next meeting will always be here. The next meeting will always be right here. The Inner Circle win session is happening in 22 minutes. Now, I want to be clear. The Inner Circle is a paid tier. So the Inner Circle, we meet every Wednesday at 1:30 Central Time, Lord's Time. Yeah, I said what I said. Central Time is the Lord's time. But the coaching corner is something that'll be open to all in the free community, where the Inner Circle win session is not available for everyone. It is only available to those who are in the paid membership. And one of the ways that you can gain access to that is actually going right here to the How It All Works Inner Circle. Now, I'm going to pull up a incognito tab so that you can actually see what it looks like to somebody else. Yeah. There we go. And so this is what it looks like if you decide to go and join the group. This is what it will look like, and you would just click join right here. But if you want to just kind of browse around first, I definitely recommend that you watch this video. That's where I get a chance to kind of welcome you and share with you what this group is all about. If you go to Classroom, you will see, these all are here and they're all available. They're ready for you to utilize. But this one says you unlock it for $500. This is what Inner Circle members have paid. And so you won't be able to actually get into that particular group. And the meetup, if you go to calendar here, you'll see the Inner Circle meetup is coming in just a little bit. I wonder why it says, oh, Los Angeles time. Okay, yeah, that's not my time. My time is 1:30. Okay, but yeah, you'll see here that says Zoom link is locked, and it also shares with you, you don't have access. And the reason for that is because it's tied to that group. It's tied to this particular Inner Circle group. So if you want access to that, that's how you would purchase access to it. I will tell you that we're in the process of revamping some things, and we're doing a major overhaul. Right now, it's a $500 fee for life. For life. If you access this now, you will have access for life. And that's what I'm going to call my founders group. But We are going to be transitioning to something else very soon. And I'm going to be honest, y'all, that pricing is going to look very different, and it is not going to be for life. At a minimum, it'll be annual, but we may have a quarterly price as well. So that's something to be thinking about as you consider whether or not you want to join us in school. I think it's a great addition to what we get a chance to do here on the YouTube platform, but definitely understand for those who may decide it's not for them. But I want to say a word of thanks to all of you. Tracy, what's going on? Just say hello to the folks real quick before we get ready to go. I think I've got, that here. All right, yeah, thank you if you guys talk.
I've turned my mic on. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back with the coaching corner.
I'm excited to be back. Yeah.
It's looking good.
Bring you guys back up on screen here for just a second. There we go. Oh. Huh. I see you, but it's not showing you. It's not showing you on my screen, which is fine. We'll do it a different way. Here we go. Hyattsville. Let's bring let's go back to all. Yeah, there's Tracy. And there's all right, cool. And I can if I bring in one more camera, it makes it even. There we go. So yeah, and that's another really great feature of Ecamm and Zoom is that I can bring stuff in. Margot is with us. What's going on? Thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. She's over on YouTube, but I want to say you definitely did sign up for school. So I'm definitely wanting to make sure you get a chance to come and hang out with us over in school. Anyway, family, that's it for today. I want to say a word of thanks to all of you for being with us and for hanging out for the Coaching Corner. The Coaching Corner is back, kinda. and what I mean by that is simply we are bringing it back, but in a different way, and want to make sure that you get a chance to engage every other Wednesday, right? So twice a month, we will have the Coaching Corner inside school. So Margot, you said, yes, I did join. Inside school, we'll have the Coaching Corner. It will not be out here. I will take questions. We'll do Q&A. I will always have something that I'm sharing on. Today's quote was, your permission to be authentic is not your permission to be average. I think it's a great quote for us to ponder. But I want to say I will prioritize for my Q&A questions that are posted inside the school community. Questions that are posted inside the school community is where I will do that. So she says, I will out of town, heading back now. Yeah. Listen, just like you're watching on your phone, what I recommend everybody, if you have school, I recommend heavily that you put it on your mobile phone, because then you can join from anywhere. Just like you're watching on YouTube, you can join. That's what school looks like on my phone. And you see that it's kind of wiggling right there because the Inner Circle win session starting in 16 minutes. But yeah, I highly recommend that you join get school on your phone, because then after that, you'll be able to join from anywhere. You won't have to go find your laptop or anything like that. Yeah. Tracy says it works on iPad as well. So, and that's the thing is, I again want to prioritize being able to get some of those questions in. So I'll always post inside school the day before to say, hey, if anybody has questions for Coaching Corner tomorrow, let me know. Put your questions underneath this post, and then I'll prioritize those questions as we get into the Coaching Corner every other Wednesday inside school. But that's it for me right now, family. I can't thank you guys enough for coming to hang out with us today. It's your boy Kirk Nugent, the Geeks Speaker Preacher. Excited for your time and attention. I'm going to see some of you in just a few minutes for the Inner Circle win session. I'll see some of the rest of you around these internet streets or in the next video. Grace and peace, fam.